at you and your family and how young you are, and I think to myself, I thought I was driven. You make me look like a failure. You're a 35-year-old guy. You're a young guy. You're the coach of Notre Dame. When you wake up in the morning, is there a little bit of, my dream came true? Oh, my word, my dream came true.
I have those moments for sure. You know, there's times I'm in my office or times I'm doing something. I'm like, man, I'm the head coach at the University of Notre Dame. But they keep me pretty busy here, so I don't have much time to think about that. But I do have those moments.
Now, Marcus, I said, Marcus, I think I've heard your great energy, real focus. We've seen the videos. The players love you. Notre Dame is not typical, Marcus. They ask a lot of coaches. Brian Kelly once told me, he said it's not a 20-year job. You have to have the right personality. This is a harder job than other places. Any concern about this is maybe the toughest first job place in the country?
Yeah. You know, I love challenges. You know, that's something that I've always embraced, maybe a little bit of my upbringing, but you know, what a great challenge, what a great opportunity. You're the head coach at the University of Notre Dame. You get a chance to live a lifelong dream. This is something this is a destination, you know, for a lot of people. And so I'm just going to take it day by day. And when you think about the challenge in terms of how big it is, I think it can get overwhelming. But when you think about it, taking it task by task, day by day, I'm excited to get after it.
It's great. So you were a player. You got drafted years ago by Chicago Bears. And then you went to work, okay? You went to Kent State and Purdue, and nobody knew who. Where did Marcus Freeman go? What happened to Marcus Freeman? And you're sitting there grinding every day. Was your goal always head coach college? Did you think about coaching pro? Go back 6-7 years. Was this the goal, a head college coach at a big brand?
I think at some point you sit there and say, hey, man, I want to be at the highest level of my occupation. And if I could have said I would be the head coach at Notre Dame at 35, you know, it would have been, there's no way. But, you know, I think the ability to just attack every day and attack each task one by one, you never know what's going to happen. And that's the same way I'm going to lead these guys. Hey, let's not worry about national champions. Let's not worry about the bowl game. Let's worry about attacking every day with a fierce intensity, and we'll see what comes of it.
You know, Brian Kelly said about a month ago, somebody asked him about something, and he brought you up, and he said, the way he inferred it was like, listen, Marcus is going to be the coach here. You guys got to figure this out. And I defended Brian. I said, listen, he's 60 years old. He's rebuilt the program. He's looking at it thinking, hey, next time I play Alabama, I want to be right in Nick's backyard. I want to have 25 NFL guys. So I got it. I understand it. I've been a mobile guy too. Were you shocked when you heard Brian was leaving? Were you shocked?
Yeah. When he called me and told me, hey, I'm going to take the job as a head coach at LSU, I was in complete shock. I did not see this coming at all. And my mind started racing, and he said, hey, I want you to be my defensive coordinator. And I said, okay. I said, but I need to ask my wife. And so from that point, that drive from where I was at recruiting to home, and it all became crazy. But to say I'm not surprised he decided to go to LSU, that would be a lie.
By the way, when Notre Dame contacted you, Marcus, for the first time, when was the first moment you thought, okay, I'm going to be considered for this job?
Probably when the athletic director called me and said, hey, are you really interested in being the next head coach at Notre Dame? And I said, absolutely. And he said, okay, well, we'll meet tomorrow. And it kind of was like, oh, man, this might really happen, you know, and it never was definite until I got the call that, hey, we're offering you this job. But you saw it slowly starting to happen. You know, you saw it with the people that were calling you and the phone calls that you had to take from certain people that are, you know, connected with this university. And so, but until you finally got that call from Jack Schwarber saying, hey, we want you to be our next head coach, I think there was always a little bit of doubt, like, hey, hold on, are they really going to do this?
Yeah. 35 years old. I think I told Joy this the other day. I said, listen, Sean McVay was coaching at 32. Kiffin was a kid. My kids are way smarter than I was at 15, 16 years old. The world is your guys' oyster, man. The idea that you can go to Google Maps and I could literally go to your neighborhood, I'm like, there's so many tools out there for curious minds, so I don't even think about your age as an issue. It's like, You got experience. You bounced around the country like everybody else. For those that would say, boy, Marcus, 35 years old, boy, that's really young. How would you counter that?
Well, I've been in leadership roles for the last probably 5, 6, really you can say your entire coaching career. When you start coaching a position, you have to take a leadership role and understand that, hey, there's certain attributes that it takes to have success. And then all of a sudden you go to Cincinnati, you're the defensive coordinator. Well, you're the leader of the defense. And, for me, I had a little bit of a comfort with our head coach being that he was my position coach in college. And then all of a sudden I get to Notre Dame, and Coach Kelly is, you are the head coach of the defense. You run it. And I'm going to do the same thing as a 35-year-old head coach of this entire football program. I lead with my heart, and I lead as a teammate. I have to lean on our staff. I'm going to have to lean on our leaderships. I'm going to have to be able to admit there's things I don't know about running the University of Notre Dame football program. But if you go every day and you go work tirelessly and you understand that, hey, you're going to need help doing this, I think you can have success, because that's what I've done.
Well, I didn't see any of your players decommitting. Notre Dame's a really, really special place. And I don't know when you were told you were the coach. I don't know if it was a phone call or whatever. What a glorious moment for you and your family. Did you get emotional when they said, it's yours, buddy?
Yeah. It was a shock to realize that this is really happening. And I was actually in my kids' room, my 2 daughters, I was in their room, and I was on the phone, and I'm in shorts and a T-shirt, and I'm like, if they could only see me right now, like I'm just walking back and forth in disbelief. But you know what? Quickly I said, oh, shoot, it's time to get to work. Let's celebrate tonight with my wife and kids. We couldn't tell anybody, which is great. So we just had to keep it to ourselves. And then my mind started racing about, what do I have to do to make sure that I'm prepared, that we're prepared as a team, and that's what I did.
Well, I hear great things. I've followed this sport forever, and my people say 2 things: egoless, focused, great energy. Everybody thinks you're a home run, and I could not be happier for you. I've always loved the brand. Congratulations to your beautiful family. You should go look at Marcus Freeman's family on the internet. It's everywhere. That's the downside, I guess, to being a football coach at Notre Dame. Everybody knows your family, but genuinely happy for you, man. Kick butt, take names, and congrats.
Thanks, Colin, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Marcus Freeman, 35 years old, the next coach at Notre Dame. And by the way, I like all the head coaching hires. I liked all of them.